Hello everyone, this is David Leibowitz with Philosophy, Video Game Philosophy, and I play Persona 3. I've talked a lot about Persona 3, and as a person who is into Carl Jung's philosophy and psychology, I think I am someone to tell you something a little unique about this trailer. This is not my first time looking through it, but I do want to break it down. So, without further ado, let's go. So, Unreal Engine. Aegis, this seems where she's introduced, looking fabulous. That was Junpei, and oh, this is all looking great. Okay, yes. We have a cooking. We think there's probably some cooking in this game, so that means there's something new, which means there likely might be new story details. Now, are we going to get the answer back? Are we going to get FemC back? We don't know, but hopefully for me, in playing this again, if I do, which I likely will, is there going to be some new story content that will spice it up and say something new about Jung and everything. Here we have the Club Escapade, where you can see the Buddhist monk. And yeah, but there's one thing in this trailer that I'm very much specifically wanting to talk about. Kenji being Kenji. That social link is not going to be changed at all, and he is the worst and best thing ever because there is something very weird about him. And he is your best friend character, allegedly. So it seems we might or may not get back a Junpei social link from FemC. We'll see. Look at what. Wait, let's go back for a second. Look at this aesthetic. Wait, let's move back. You see the bubbles and the water and the themes of water? I'll tell you about it a little bit soon, about the importance of water. Yep, we got the awakening scene right here. So, we have back shadows from Persona 3 and 4 that are not... They're not the shadows of Persona 5 or Persona 1 and 2 had demons, which was a little different. But Persona 5 had the shadows, which are just SMT demons. And this one goes back to shadows that are not the same as the personas you can summon. So I think as much as I'd like to bring back the Persona 5 demons that are just shadows, I think this is important for at least in the context of P3, because the shadows being completely different from the personas you summon is important narratively, because they don't realize that the personas and the shadows are at all the same until the answer. Which, again, we don't know if the answer is going to come, but Mitsuru says at one point in Persona 3 that shadows are the enemy of mankind, so these characters are having a war with their own repressed sides of themselves that they don't realize, and they will never get through. I can say a lot more about that in another thing, but let's continue. Let's do that one more time. Water! I am so excited about this. See, Carl Jung is very big about water. Actually, Freud himself, the father of psychoanalysis, was big about water. Because in Freud's idea, our unconscious is constantly in a state of tension. But when it is calm, it is a nice, calm thing of water, but it's constantly water under pressure. So that actually is very important to the notion of death, because when water is calm, you're actually basically dead. Because a big theme of this game is Freud's notion of the death instinct, which we talked about with Professor Cooper. That we in ourselves, without giving too much away, are trying to get back and recede to a notion of death, to our origin. Now, in Jung's idea, Jung did not exactly accept the death instinct, though there are Jungians that talk about the death instinct. But the unconscious itself is still thought of as water. If you see water in your dreams, it likely references the unconscious itself. Darkness, water, there's the dark water, which is really hard to see, and like the abyss is a part of yourself that's really hard to come to. But since there is no separate dimension in Persona 3, that we are dealing itself with the notion of night, and the concept of night, which is when, of course, we have our dreams, because most of us are going to sleep during the night, that there is an idea that going in and immersing ourselves in water is immersing ourselves in the unconscious. And since these characters awaken their personas by shooting themselves in the head, and therefore lowering their ego, are receiving themselves into that notion of water. Also, in Zen Buddhism, there is the notion that yourself, that there is actually a self, because most of Buddhism doesn't talk about a self. There is no self. But there is some sort of a true self in Zen Buddhism, which is in Japan. Also in China, it was originally called Chan, but in Japan it's Zen, which is the more popular name. That there is a notion that your actual true self is an ocean. And the themes of Persona 3 are about lowering the self, about receiving yourself, about allowing a sense of ego death for a sense of rebirth, a sense of sacrifice to society, without giving too much away. Also seeing that Makoto, the protagonist, is upside down, is sort of seeing an idea of a reverse of the self, the underbody of the self. So I love this menu, and is the menu too stylish at Persona 5? I think mentioning Lady Virgilia's reaction, I don't think it's too much. I think it's perfect. It is a little iffy, like it probably should be a little nicer, but if you think about that this is literally under the sea, it's perfect. That maybe things are a little jumbled up, because in ourselves, we're a little jumbled up. Though I also see that the menus, the character arcs, are actually basically the same as, if these are kept, these are the same as Persona 3. So that's interesting that they kept those health bars. We got the tarot cards, we got the Velvet Room with Igor and Elizabeth looking great. Jack Frost looking great. The Awakening of Orpheus looking nice. Oh, this scene looks great. Reload. So we're reloading the gun. Is there anything else? Let's see. I'm surprised. Yeah, it's coming pretty early. I will, if you guys want me to give a reaction to Persona 5 Tactics, I will. I am definitely getting that game. Actually, that's a higher thing on my hit array than this, because again, I play P3. Unless, again, I hear that there really is something new to do, because the gameplay of Persona 3 was a little iffy, and I know they're going to modernize it to make it feel like Persona 5, but it's still randomized dungeons, which I find a little iffy. So if there's something there, I will play it. Though I'm still likely going to play it eventually. Probably actually maybe right when it comes out, but we'll see. I still got to get through Royal, so see if there's anything else. Persona 3 Reload. And yes, it is coming to PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and Switch, so I get to play it because I am a Switch gamer. All right. Well, this has been Dave Lee with Flashspiel V Game Philosophy. Peace.